another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome back aboard the stream boat as we dredge the Netflix stream for another movie. Will we pull up a classic?
Who knows? Let's find out.
Or just some old mud?
I love the word dredge.
Dredge. That is a good one.
Dredge in the bottom of the stream. Good word. What have we dredged up this week? We dredged up... Well, we didn't. Jordan Shenton did.
This is a wild card choice this week. We have not had to use Robin the Randomizer.
We have not. This is the last wild card of this season as well.
Yeah, our wonderful Patreon, Jordan Shenton.
We love him.
Has
We give Jordan a lot of shit on this show, but we do love him. But also, he's a dickhead.
He's
great. I love Jordan.
He's my favourite ginger. So, Lockout.
Yep. Lockout is from 2012. 10 years old.
I mean, I'm old now.
Yep. You are.
But I did have to sort of do a double take and be like, 2012, that's not that long ago. Oh, what? It's 11 years old, this movie.
Quite a long time ago.
That's quite old.
It is quite old. It's 2012. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 35 minutes, and it's currently rated at 6.0 out of 10 on IMDb. Thoughts on 6.0?
I think that 6 is quite a high rating in the grand scheme of things, and I don't know if there is enough in this movie to push it into the 6s. 6
is as high as it's a high end of what we've been getting lately.
Yeah,
so we'll see. This film stars Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce plays a character called Snow. You do find out his first name, but I'm going to reveal that at the end, like the film did.
I would say one thing actually, just before you really get into this.
Go on.
If you listen to The Wave this week, our real talk was underrated actors.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Guy Pearce is a million miles off that list.
No, you're right, actually.
I've never watched Guy Pearce and he's let me down.
No, same.
He was good in this movie. I thought
absolutely.
He led this movie really well.
Yeah, that's a good shout. He's a good underrated
and he's versatile because you see him do action, proper action. You know,
Memento's a great film.
Yeah, LA Confidential. And you know,
Neighbours.
Underrated actor, Guy Pearce. I've got a lot of time for him.
I'm on board. I will give you the same. I will give you that. Guy Pearce is Australian. You know what we do with Australian actors on this show?
Has he ever been in Neighbours or Home and Away?
He has definitely been in Neighbours. And what people might not know, that he was also in 19 episodes of Home and Away.
Oh, it's the absolute dream.
He has done the double. How many episodes of Neighbours do you think he was in?
He was in it early days. He was
an OG cast member.
Yeah.
But he also Neighbours finished last month, before, and he came back for the finale.
Wow.
And they built the finale around his return.
Amazing.
Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue both came back for that episode as well, but they built that episode around Guy Pearce's return.
Yeah. He was Mike in Neighbours.
He was Mike in Neighbours. He's still known as Mike from Neighbours. People still say, "It's got Mike from Neighbours in."
They do in this country.
They do.
I gotta say, he did 257 episodes of Neighbours.
458.
Wow.
458 episodes of Neighbours from its inception. He left Neighbours and became a movie star.
Yeah.
And I actually watched a documentary about Neighbours a couple of weeks ago. The night that Neighbours finished.
Oh, was it like Neighbours Night?
There was Neighbours Night on Channel 5. And he was like the biggest star that's ever come out of Neighbours.
Yeah.
As far as movie star goes. And you're right, he is. Jason Donovan's been in movies. Kylie Minogue's been in movies. Holly Valance.
But those
Guy Pearce is a movie star.
Those two were adopted largely by this country.
Yeah. Guy Pearce went to America and made it work.
Kylie Minogue never made it over there.
No.
But yeah, Guy Pearce is a Hollywood.
He's a movie star. He is a movie star, and he started in Neighbours. So good for him. He left Neighbours and did Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yes, that's
which is
right.
an Australian drag queen movie.
Yeah.
With Hugo Weaving. Is he in that? I think he is. And then he went on to do Memento, and then since then, he's just gone from strength to strength. Although he doesn't really do, like we've just said, he doesn't really do a lot lately.
I feel like I've not seen him so much. Yeah.
Having watched the finale of Neighbours, the last 10 years have not been kind to him. He looks a lot older now than he did in this movie, which was 10 years ago.
Okay, fine.
This film also stars a lady called Maggie Grace. She plays a character called Emily. She's probably most famous for the Taken movies.
Yeah.
She was the daughter that was always taken in Taken.
She was.
She was also in Lost. She was Shannon in Lost. And she's most recently been in Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
Lenny James, who's also in this film. And also, this film stars Peter Stormare. He plays a character called Scott Langrel. Most famous probably for Armageddon.
Yes, but Peter Stormare is your classic, that guy from that thing.
How many how many credits on IMDb do you think Peter Stormare's got?
257.
205.
Well,
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot.
It
Peter
is a lot.
Stormare is in everything. Do you know who his best friend is? In
No.
real life?
no.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, really?
He's the godfather of one of the Skarsgård children.
Is he?
But not the two that we've seen on the show, the other one.
I bet they have a great night out, Empire.
Yeah, I bet they do. This film, I'm going to do the writer and director first because there's an interesting story behind this film.
Okay.
This film was written by three guys: James Maffer, Steve St. Ledger, and Luc Besson.
Yep.
It was also directed by James Maffer.
You'll have heard of Luc Besson.
Yeah, you would. It was also directed by James Maffer and Steve St. Ledger. However, two more people are also credited as writers on this film.
Okay.
In 2015, so 3 years after this film was released, director John Carpenter sued the makers of this film
Okay.
because he alleged that it plagiarized his films Escape from New York and Escape from LA.
Yeah. Okay.
He won. The court
Interesting.
agreed with him. The court awarded him damages of $20,000. And Escape from New York screenwriter Nick Castle also got $10,000, and $50,000 was given to Metro Goldwyn Mayer MGM. Luc Besson then appealed this decision
Right.
in 2016, and the claimant's total damages were then increased to $450,000.
Oh, wow. What a backfire.
So he appealed and lost and ended up with losing a lot more money. So yeah, Luc Besson does not have good memories of this film, I don't think.
Now, I can certainly see. I've seen all of those films. I've
Yep,
seen this
same.
film.
There are very much similarities.
Yeah.
But since then, obviously, by the way, John Carpenter and the screenwriter of the other one are credited on this movie now
Okay.
as inspired by the events from
Yeah.
the other two movies. That's where I was going.
There are definitely similarities.
Very much so.
But my question is, why did this get sued? And we've seen countless other movies that are just a rip-off of X
Other
movie.
movies. Yeah, absolutely.
Why does that never happen?
The Asylum have made a career out of it.
Yeah, that's a whole industry.
There's a whole
of-
movie studio that do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whether it's just John Carpenter's had the bollocks to go out and sue somebody and nobody else does, I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe John Carpenter's just got the money to do it. But it's really interesting
Yeah.
because you're right. Parody movies happen. Rip-off movies definitely happen.
Yeah.
We've seen... What was I Am Omega is the rip-off of I Am Legend.
Yeah.
And there's
With that Alien
Alien
versus
vs.
Hunter.
which is Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah.
There's loads of them. Literally loads of them. But I don't understand... Unless you get some sort of permission before you do it.
Yeah,
And the directors
sure.
just go, yeah, just do it. I don't care.
Hmm.
Or they're owned by the same movie studios or distributors. I don't know. But John Carpenter won.
Yeah.
and he won big. After Luc Besson decided he was going to interfere.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I thought so as well. But it is very similar to those two movies. You have a one-word review of Lockout.
Taken in space.
It's taken in space. It's exactly right. It's the same producers, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's even the same girl. It's Maggie Grace. Gets
She
taken.
loves getting taken.
If
That's
Liam
wrong. Let me
Neeson
rephrase that.
No, she probably does. If Liam Neeson was in this movie, this would be Taken 3.
Yeah.
It's
Taken X, this would be,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
Taken X. Jason X. I like it. Yeah, it would. It's crazy. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Except the president was a bit more wishy-washy in this one.
Yeah, he got a bum deal, that guy.
He did. Let's talk about the name. It's called Lockout.
It's so generic.
Yeah, it's generic. It's like we've made a film. We don't know what to call it. Pick two words out of the hat
Yeah.
because it doesn't make any sense. There's no relation to the film. Nobody gets locked out. of it.
They're locked in, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's
They're in
the
a
opposite.
prison.
Yeah, they're in a prison in space.
Yeah.
Nobody's locked out of the prison. If anything, like you say, they're locked in it. Movie titles just confuse me sometimes.
You can just make some effort.
It's like somebody's
Call it Space Prison.
yeah. Yeah. It's like somebody who hasn't seen the film or hasn't read the script has just named this film.
Yeah. Just what's the most generic title we can come up with?
It's weird. It's really weird. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
We're not going to stop because this is all action.
Yeah, it's balls to the wall. This is an action film.
This is a full-on action.
It happens to be set in space.
I've got 15 pages of notes.
Wow.
On this. I think it might be a record. I felt like I never stopped writing.
A lot of captions in this movie as well.
A lot of captions, a lot of shit going on.
To keep you up.
Where does it start, Nick?
Washington, D.C.
Yep.
2079.
Yeah.
The far-flung future.
We're in the future.
And we meet Snow.
We do.
He is being interrogated. Hopefully we get little captions, at least at the start of this movie, to tell us who these characters are.
Yeah. So this is Snow. He's being beaten up by a guy called Scott.
Snow is Guy Pearce.
Snow is Guy Pearce's character. Scott Langdon or something like that.
Yeah.
They call him Scott. They call him by his first name, which never happens in films like this. He is Peter Stormare's character. And
he's head of the Secret Service.
Yeah. And he's beating up this guy whilst interrogating him. The title card comes between punches, which I quite liked. Yeah. He gets punched, his head moves out of the way, and the title card's there. Quite like that. I like a good title card. And he's basically trying to find out what happened in New York.
Yeah, what happened in that room, he says.
Yeah, what happened in that room in New York. And then we have a flashback to what did happen in that room in New York.
All the time as Snow's getting beaten up and tortured, he's just quipping back and
yeah, he's got the balance.
It's just Snake Plissken.
Yeah, it is. It's even called Snowy, so it's very close. Yeah. It's basically we get a flashback to what did happen in New York, and I've written toilet fight. They're having a fight in a bathroom, and he hits him with a toilet seat.
Yeah, Snow beats up some suits.
He does. He electrocutes a guy with a hairdryer, who then flies back.
Cool.
It was cool. He flies back across. This guy flies back across the room. He flicks over the bed. The gun pops up off the bed. He grabs the gun and shoots the guy in the head, all in one fluid movement.
It up with the
it was cool
duvet cover.
It was well cool. Then we get back to the interrogation.
Snow's phone rings, and it's a guy called Mace.
Yes.
And he says, "Get out of there, it's a double cross."
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I think he's probably worked that out.
Too late now. We already know this. Back to the interrogation. He's still getting punched in the head. Scott's character reveals that he's being punched by a guy called Rupert.
Yes.
And he's like, am I being beat up by a guy called Rupert? And I thought that was quite funny. We got back to the fight. This film moves around.
Yeah,
back
to the flashback.
Back to the flashback. And the police show up.
Yeah.
And a police chopper shows up and starts shooting the shit out of this building in New York, which I'm sure has never happened. But in all the kerfuffle, he manages to get away.
He's given a briefcase.
Yes.
By Frank.
Yeah.
Who's Snow's fellow CIA agent.
Yes. He's dying.
I think he's his like superior or partner. Yeah. It's never made clear. And he says to him, "Don't let them take this." And he gives him a lighter.
Yep.
And his briefcase.
Yes. So we're assuming don't let him get rid of the briefcase. He then heads up to the roof and he falls off the roof of a skyscraper.
Oh, it's a brutal fall, this was.
It was. And he survives with no ill effects. He just bounces off a few canopies on the way down and he's all right. The chopper's still chasing him through the streets of New York, shooting at him. Well, the police are also shooting at him. There's a big chase going on. It's quite cool, actually. And he manages to get away on a one-wheeled motorbike.
I don't know how to describe this scene. From when he gets onto the motorbike and this chase over the motorways and
he's being chased by flying cop cars.
Because the CGI is terrible.
I couldn't make out what this motorbike was.
No, on purpose. I think you can't tell what's going on because it's not good enough. And he kind of escapes and then crashes through the door of the subway.
Yeah, he gets told to head to the subway.
But the way sort of Guy Pearce falls off this motorbike, it's like you can just see he's on wires.
Yeah,
because he's not attached to this thing that he's supposed to be riding, and it's just so badly done. But it kind of like works for this movie.
It really did. Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it?
And it moves so fast you can't see what's happening, but it kind of works. It's really odd.
Yeah, it does. He gets to the subway and he manages to throw this Mace is on the train, I think.
Yeah.
And he manages to throw the briefcase through the door
as the train's
leaving, but he gets caught in a net. He gets caught up in this net gun thing, and that brings us back to level to where we started. So we're now in the interrogation from that capture. It's revealed at this point by Scott.
My socks come off.
Why is your socks come off?
I don't know. Carry on.
That doesn't happen to humans. Scott thinks that he saw Snow kill Frank.
He's got some video footage.
He's got video footage of him
I
doing
put,
it.
is it doctored?
It looks
Question
doctored,
mark.
but he's adamant he saw it with his own eyes. This is what happened. And that's why he's interrogating him, because he needs to know why he did it, and etc. etc.
Well, yeah, because he thinks Snow's a mole or a double agent,
Yes, he
basically.
does. Then Harry shows up. Harry is Lenny James's character. He stops this interrogation happening now, dead.
Yeah.
He's not doing it anymore.
Why is Lenny James in this tiny little role that's got in 3 scenes?
I don't know. It's good. It's a good role, but it isn't.
Yeah,
It's a big name for a
Yeah.
small role.
Yeah.
But was he a big name in 2012?
I feel like he's been around forever.
It does feel like he's been around forever, but don't know.
Okay.
Maybe not.
I'm always happy to see him when he turns
absolutely.
up.
He's great. Anyway, he stops this interrogation, and Scott's character leaves the room and leaves Harry in there.
Harry's going to be like good cop now.
Yeah, they're doing good cop. They're both have the same role. They work together, but Harry's going to be good. And Harry seems to have a bit more of a relationship with Snow.
Yeah.
He's a bit more friendly.
He's
with
like,
him.
look, I know you wouldn't have done this.
Yeah,
What happened in
exactly.
there?
What happened in there? Scott's left the room, and Snow draws out the word mace on it's like there's some like sugar or something on the table, and it's like giving him a secret message that Scott can't see. He says the word mace, and then we head off to meet the president for the first time. We head off to the Oval Office secure bunker, which is the Oval Office but with a metal door.
Yeah, and it's like way underground.
Yeah, it's underground, but it's the actual Oval Office.
Yeah.
And Scott's there. He's gone to meet up with the president. They're basically briefing him on what's been going on. We find out that the president's daughter's cleared off somewhere, and she's cleared off to space.
Yeah,
because that's what
he's just like had his health check or something, hasn't he? The president, and the doc's like, "Oh, where's your daughter? We need to do her next."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, she's off on some PR
humanitarian PR mission."
It turns out she's in orbit.
Yep, she's gone to space.
She's gone to see the space prison.
There's a space prison, MS-1 it's called.
Yeah,
it's for the world's most violent criminals, and they are stored in stasis in space. So it's not an actual prison. It's more of a human storage depot. She signs in. We meet up with her this time, so we meet Emily now.
Yeah.
This is the president's daughter, Maggie Grace's character. She basically signs in. She gets given a radiation tag necklace.
Yes.
So just in case you should come across any radiation, this necklace will warn you of that, which is a bit of foreshadowing, obviously. You know when you get obvious foreshadowing in a film?
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, so she's definitely coming across radiation at some point.
They take us to get a bit of a tour around.
Yeah.
They have to give their weapons in. She's got a Secret Service guy with her.
Yeah.
And trouble's happening here because he sneaks a weapon into his sock. Yeah. Basically.
Because he's an idiot.
And yeah, the whole thing was this guy's fault.
Yeah, it was the whole thing.
Absolute prick. There's no movie if this guy does his job properly.
It makes a big point of saying you're not allowed weapons on the prisoner side of the interrogation room.
Yeah.
So what they're gonna do is wake up a prisoner, and she's gonna talk to him about conditions in this prison, even though the guy's in stasis, because she thinks that basically what they're doing is more of an experiment on long-term exposure to space.
They're trying to show this influential person, this is a good facility, that we're doing a good job here.
And she's not really on board with it.
She's very cynical about it. She
thinks it's like more of an experiment on how humans deal with being in space for a long period of time. They make this big thing about you can't have a gun on the prisoner side of the glass.
Yeah.
And then this guy goes and stands on that side. Idiot. He's an idiot. It's his whole fault. So she gets shown through to Gen Pop, where they keep all the prisoners, and it's like
you do this like huge panning back, and there's just
you've
levels
seen this scene
upon
before.
levels. It's like the Matrix, isn't it?
You've seen this scene in hundreds of movies. It's like the doors in Monsters Inc. There's just a great big room full of stasis chambers. We cut back down to Earth. Snow is now being told that he doesn't have a trial. Apparently not.
You're convicted.
You're convicted.
Yeah.
You've been convicted of first-degree murder and espionage against the United States.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said murder. Right? Murder.
They say 30 years.
30 years stasis on MS-1.
Yeah.
So you're going up there.
See you later, boy.
See you later. And he's been convicted for killing Frank and also for spying against the US by not revealing what was in that briefcase. And then we cut back up. Emily's now with a prisoner. He is...
The second big error.
Yeah.
Aside from the Secret Service guy sneaking that weapon in, is they chose terribly of which prisoner
they did.
Get out to interview her. They literally
it's
the
like
worst
they just picked one at random.
An insane one who is not going to present a good image of this
No.
place.
This character's played by Joe Gilligan, who's great. He's the comedy actor who's been in loads of stuff.
Yeah, over British actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
He isn't Scottish.
No, he does a good Scottish accent.
Does a good Scottish to the point where you can't understand a fucking word he's saying. He's a
It's
Yorkshire
a
man.
bit Begbie, yeah.
He's got a great Yorkshire accent. Just let him do that. He's in prison for aggravated assault. Not just one aggravated assault. He's in there for 53 counts of aggravated assault. He's a psychopath. He's a psychopath for the rest of this movie. And like you say, why are they interviewing him and not?
Yeah, because
one
he's
of the
like,
more normal
give us a
people?
smile,
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah, he flirts a little bit.
Yeah.
Eventually, he figures out that this guy's got a gun and manages to grab it off him.
He says, before I was convicted for assault,
Yeah.
I used to be a pickpocket.
Yeah. And he manages to pickpocket this guy's gun.
Got your gun.
And he kills this guy. He gets the gun, kills the guy, escapes basically, gets himself free, shoots his chains off.
Fights, guns, explosions.
All sorts of actions going on. And then we meet the LOPD.
Yeah, this was great.
I love it. The Low Orbit Police Department. So these are a police department who are just a little bit lower in space than MS1 is.
Yeah.
And they're called the Low Orbit Police Department. I loved it.
What else are they doing?
I don't know. They're just policing space.
Only low orbit.
Only in the low orbit. So they're notified that something's kicked off at the prison.
Yeah, it's a fire alarm because Emily's pulled a fire alarm.
Yeah, because shit's gone down.
Yeah. Also, she got wounded, didn't she?
She did. She got shot in the leg.
Yeah.
By the guy's called Heidel.
Yeah. He gets to the control room back
does.
on MS1.
He grabs a tech guy.
Yeah.
I've written tech guy. He's in a white
Sure, yeah, he's in a lab coat.
white lab coat, so he's a tech guy. And he says to him, "Open up all of them,
Every single
chamber. Open it up." He's got a gun to this guy's head. This guy's going to do it. He does do it. Then he shoots the guy anyway. He kills the guy.
Just now, there's just a riot.
Yeah, it's just prison riot now.
Some people stumble out of their pods and just immediately fall to their death.
Yep.
And others are they're overwhelming the guards. They're getting weapons. It's a prison riot.
Yeah, it is. And another guy wakes up and he pretends to still be asleep.
Yeah.
He manages to kill the prison guard by pretending to not be there, but he was there. This is Alex. So he's from now on, our main antagonist.
He's like
in this film.
the leader of the crims.
This is Alex. He's another bad man.
I have
He basically takes charge straight away.
quite a lot of issues with this character.
Okay, go for it. Give me some issues.
He's really boring.
Yeah, he is.
And all the things you could have done with these wacky prison characters, guys who've been asleep for years and years,
Yeah.
and they just choose this straight-laced.
He is quite
boring-
straight laced. He's a scary dude. He is going to mess you up, but he's also quite boring.
But everyone else around him was infinitely more interesting.
Yeah, like the guy with the tattooed smile on his face.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Things like that. And Heidel himself.
Yeah.
So he gets out. He's now our main antagonist of this movie.
He's gathering the criminals
yeah.
into some sort of organised faction, isn't he?
Heidel's managed to get Emily. He's in charge of her now in the control room. And then the LOPD show up.
Yeah.
And Heidel just turns on the guns.
Yeah.
This is like a defended prison.
Sure.
It's got automated guns on the front. So he turns them on and all the LOPD ships get taken out.
Yeah.
They're all dead.
Now that CG I thought was all right.
Yeah, the spaceship CG was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Alex then threatens Heidel. He's like, just don't pull any stupid shit. I don't know
He's
what you're doing. You're just an idiot.
We need these hostages.
Yeah.
I'm in charge now. Don't rape that girl.
Basically. Yeah, basically, yeah. Scott, back on Earth, has then received word that this prison riot is going on.
Oh, I was just going to say, just the only bit that did make me chuckle in that whole shoot in the LOPD craft, they're in the control room and Alex is like, said they ask a tech nerd which button presses they need to press to turn the guns on.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait. And you can see Heidel behind him, so like itching.
That was quite funny.
And there's like, don't press this red button. And he just reaches over, presses it, goes, sorry.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
It was
Quite like
funny. That he was quite a good character, Heidel, I thought.
Yeah, and then we don't see him.
You don't see
Now,
him you don't see him for a little while.
40 minutes.
We're back down on Earth. Scott has received word of what is going on MS1, and he alerts the president.
Yeah.
Harry's also there. And they have a differing opinion on how they should handle this.
Scott wants to send in a SWAT
Yeah, he
guys,
wants to
basically, a
send Marines.
full-on
He's like,
assault.
Send the Marines in. Let's take them all out.
Yeah.
Sort it out. And Harry's like, let's send one man.
I know just the guy.
I know the guy we should send. Basically, he wants to send one man because it's you have less collateral damage. He can go in, get the daughter back, and then they can do whatever they want.
He does, but he also knows
He's got
that Mace knows where the briefcase is,
Exactly.
and Mace is in stasis on this prison.
Exactly. So he eventually convinces the president this is the correct way to go. But Snow's not having it. He's like, no.
Yeah, why
no
would I
chance.
do that?
Why would I do that? And Harry talks him into it, and he manages to convince him by he's written on his coffee cup, Mace is on MS1, and he has his finger over it, and then he lifts his finger up, and you can see it. And then Snow's like, okay, I'll go if I have to. So yeah, this is your setup of this movie is now complete. I think we cut back up to the ship. Emily is wounded, but the prisoners are now completely in charge of this station.
Yeah, they've rounded all the hostages up,
they've got
haven't
more
they,
in one room.
in the control room?
Yeah. Back on Earth, they brief Snow on how to basically get on the ship and get off the ship.
Yeah, they're gonna like talk him through.
Yeah, he's gonna have an earpiece in.
There's 496 prisoners on there.
Good number.
There you go.
A lot of prisoners. Basically, they say there's an escape pod on the ship, so you can, once you've got Emily, just get on that, leave every fucker else, and we'll just blow it up.
Get you two off. Yeah. Get home.
Get her home. His sole mission is to get her back,
get
her off that ship, and then we'll deal with the fallout from it. They give him some explosive collar type thing.
Yeah,
it's like you can use this to blow up doors.
Yeah,
you put one side on one side on the other, the door will blow open. Okay, fair. That's
it's like
fine.
an exploding rope.
Yeah, basically. Alex then kills a prisoner on the ship.
But he is attacked and he gets stabbed, doesn't he?
Yes.
And for some reason, which I feel like I missed, Emily is now wearing a lab coat.
Yeah.
So the princess just assumes she's a doctor.
Yeah, they don't know who she is.
No.
They've no idea that she's the president's daughter.
So she has to go and stitch up Alex's wound.
Yeah, Alex has been stabbed in the accident, and so he shoots this guy that stabbed him. And yeah, Emily goes and sews him up, even though she's with a doctor who isn't wearing a lab coat.
Yeah.
But because she's got a lab coat. They must have switched. Yeah, they must have. I don't know why.
Off screen.
Yeah. Then we cut back to the LOPD, and Scott and Harry show up. They've taken a short spaceship ride to the low orbit police department.
Yeah.
And they're now there. They take over. They basically relieve the guy who's in charge of his duties. And Snow's there as well. This is basically where they're going to launch
like chatting
their
up the
ship.
women and stuff.
Yeah, I presume this place is where you go. It's like a stopgap to get to MS1 because this is where they.
It's like a registration.
Yeah,
all that sort of stuff.
And Snow, he looks at the screen. He looks at Alex because they've got like a video feed of what's going on, and he straight away says they don't know who she is.
Yeah,
they've got no idea who she is. This is an advantage, and so they sneak him on board in a very odd
send
way.
One guy to his death.
Yeah, basically,
just to get Snow on board.
Yeah, so they've got this basically fake negotiator.
Yeah,
who takes a ship up to MS1 to talk to Alex to negotiate with him.
Yeah.
Whilst he's doing that, Snow's in the background just sneaking into a little manhole.
Yeah, in a spacesuit.
In a spacesuit. He rides up on the spaceship on the outside.
The negotiator is really bad.
Yeah,
because he's like, well, to show them that you're willing and we could get somewhere, you should give a hostage.
You need to give up hostage.
And he's like, well, to be fair, I'm not against that idea.
Yeah.
What are they looking for?
Yeah.
And the negotiator's like, have you got any women? Have you got any injured people? Because it always looks good when you're giving the injured one back. And Alex is like, oh yeah, we have actually. Yeah, I'll go and get her.
She's the one who's the doctor, but we'll give her up anyway.
Yeah. And I'm like, for real?
Because this is like Scott's plan. So it's like plan A, and then Snow's plan B.
Yeah.
So, and it might work. It looks at this stage like it's going to work. Alex is going to go and get Emily. He's going to give her to the negotiator, and the negotiator's going to leave. End of.
Until Heidel, who is the wild card, turns up.
Yes.
And he overhears this and says, "You want an injured one?"
Yeah.
And he shoots the doctor in the stomach.
The actual doctor in the stomach.
It's like, well, she's more injured.
He knows that Emily's more important than she's letting on because he was being interviewed with her at the start. So he's like, she must be somebody. And then after he shoots this prisoner, the real doctor lady, somebody else comes on the radio because they've seen Snow sneaking in through a airlock or a window or whatever. So it all kicks off, and basically the negotiator gets shot in the face.
Yeah.
And Alex says to Heidel, "Go and find whoever's just snuck on this ship. Go and find them, take them out."
Yeah.
And one of the other prisoners goes, "Why don't we just shoot that guy? He's crazy."
Yeah, he's causing us loads of trouble.
And Alex says, "Because he's my brother." And I'm like, "Of course he is." Because they couldn't be more different.
No.
They're both doing fake Scottish accents. That's the only thing
Did we even need Alex in this film?
No.
Heidel could have just
Yeah, you should have just been the crazy psycho.
saved
You need two, but
he could have been the main one, and we could have had another
Yeah.
someone being like the yeah.
yeah.
And there was not enough charisma from Alex to be the lead antagonist in this film.
No, there wasn't. He was the worst thing about it. This then happens, and I don't really understand how it happened, but Alex figured out that Emily's the president's daughter. He gets it at this point. Something gave it away.
He saw a surname off a name badge or something like that.
That's it. He saw a name badge,
He
and
put
she had the same
together.
surname as the
Yeah.
president, and he figured out nobody else has got that surname. Then we meet back with Snow. Snow's now on board the spaceship.
Yeah.
I've written here, he explodes a dude's head off.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
So he gets this thing that he was supposed to use to blow open doors with.
Yeah.
Wraps it around
within a minute.
within the first man he meets.
Turns it into a collar, puts it around this guy's
wraps
neck.
it around this guy's neck, and the guy's head explodes. Then Emily knocks him out.
Yeah, no, well, he opens a lift door,
Yeah.
and they're all stood face to face. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that was difficult.
That was
We're in
easy
this
to
huge
find.
prison, and
Yeah.
we just bumped into each other in the lift.
Yeah, she
twats him in the head.
She doesn't know who he is, so she knocks him out.
Smashes him with a fire
And she goes to
extinguisher.
hide with her. I should presume she had another bodyguard because
No, it's
the other
this
one
the guy who
did he not get killed at the
No,
beginning?
because he came round.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And he goes and hides with her in a storage room.
Yeah.
Her and a bodyguard go and hide. But unfortunately, this room that she's going to choose to hide in has an excess amount of nitrogen in it.
I think it happened when because in another stupid decision,
This guy's
decided
an
to
idiot.
shoot the control panel. To
He
lock
did,
them
yeah,
in,
to lock them
and
in.
that caused something to happen with the ventilation,
And
and then
nitrogen
nitrogen
started
starts
getting
building up. This guy's had a bad day at
He
work.
is not a good guy. Alex then, he's like, right, we need to get in that room because we need this girl.
Yeah.
And she's now barricaded herself in this room. Fetch me 2 security consultants to open this door.
Get me 2 more nerds.
Yeah. So he does. He grabs 2. They grab 2 nerds, bring them both to him, and he immediately shoots one of them and says, right, that's what's going to happen if you tell me you can't open that door.
Yeah,
To the
in
other guy.
5 minutes, I think.
Harry is, in the meantime, he's guiding Snow through what's going on this ship, and he's got to cross a void now.
Yeah.
So it's basically he's opened this door. There's a big drop underneath him, and there's a door opposite with no way of getting to it. But hopefully, this is the room that generates the gravity on the ship because it's got a big spinny wheel at the bottom.
Yeah, it has.
And so Harry's like, well, you could just jump in there and
Yeah,
fly
he's like,
across.
just-
There's no gravity.
It'll
in
hold
there.
you up.
It will hold you up.
Yeah. Walk over the gap.
And just as he's about to do that, a prisoner,
Tackles him
generic
from
prisoner,
behind.
tackles him from behind. And then we have a anti-gravity, mid-air
Yeah,
fight scene between 2 guys,
we do.
which was quite good.
It was
To
good.
be
And
fair,
again, the effects
I
for
don't know
this
how
were
you
pretty
shoot something
good,
like that.
Yeah.
It was quite well shot. Snow manages to tether himself to a wall
Yes.
during this fight, which is helpful because for some reason Harry decides to turn the machine
Yeah,
off.
it gets switched off somehow.
Harry turned it
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
even though he knew that his mate was flying across it. And then, so the guy who isn't tethered falls into
He
the
does.
mechanism. And then Harry's like, oh, turn the machine back on. And then Snow, Guy Pearson, has managed to get out of this room. It was a really weird scene.
Yeah.
Really
It
weird.
didn't flow, did it?
No, not at all. Alex then shoots the other engineer who isn't getting into this room quick
It's
enough.
like, right, get me one more.
Get him another one. I don't know how many security engineers we've got. We've got enough to make 2 cannon fodder.
And he says to the third one, right, see those 2?
Yep.
You've got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And the guy says, actually gives him some back.
He does, yeah.
And he says, I guarantee you I will get us in there if you give me 5.
Yeah, he does.
I presume
Alex-
he let him off.
Alex
'cause
like,
we
yeah,
don't-
go for it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, stupid security guard man realizes that there's too much nitrogen and not enough oxygen in this
Yeah.
room, so he needs to conserve some oxygen. So he shoots himself in the head.
Yeah, and now he is gone.
Now he is dead. And just as he does that, 30 seconds later, this
Yeah.
guy sacrifices himself for her. Snow manages to break in through the
Yeah,
ceiling
drops him through the ceiling.
and finds Emily unconscious on the floor. She's run out of oxygen. And
She's dead. He says she's dead.
she's dead, yes, she's full on dead. But he needs to bring her back to life. So he, for some reason,
He's got a kit.
Yeah, he's got a
He's
first aid
talked
kit.
through how to revive her.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it involves injecting directly this needle into her right eye.
Yeah, it was adrenaline. He
Yeah.
needed to inject adrenaline through her right eye into her brain.
Yeah, and Lenny James' character says, "Don't worry, this is advanced stuff. As long as you put it in her eye, the
needle
gizmo
will
find where it
the
needs
way.
to go."
Yeah. And then you get a really graphic, really up close shot of a needle going into an eye.
Yeah.
Which I hated. I hate eye shit. It was horrible. And Guy Pearce hates it as well because he's like, "Oh, this is horrible, as he's doing it." And you actually see the eye start caving in, and then it's horrible. Don't like it. He also gives her mouth to mouth for a little bit, and just as he starts giving her mouth to mouth, she wakes up. She kicks him off. She's fully fine. She's absolutely fine now. She's got no issue with her eyes for the rest of the movie.
No,
She's absolutely fine with that.
I'm pretty sure that's going to hurt.
She has not got excessive adrenaline. She's fine with that. She's just fine. She's back to normal.
They escape. They got to get out of this room.
Yeah, they've got to get out of this room because they can see somebody's trying to cut the door down on the other side. They've got some sort of explosive thing going on the other side now. So they do. They leave, and just as they leave, Alex gets the door open, and there's nobody in there, and you're a dead security man. They're gone. So Alex is like, right, somebody's communicating here. Cut the communications off. Cut the comms. The comms all go down.
Just as Harry has guided Snow and Emily to a crossroads in the ventilation.
Yeah, they're in
shaft.
the ventilation shaft.
And he says, "Whatever you do, don't go." And then the comms cut out.
And they obviously go the wrong way because they instantly fall through the ceiling of a room.
Yeah, into sick bay though.
And
like.
which is helpful. There's a really bad blowjob joke here as well for unnecessary reasons. So she lands on top of him as if she's like head in crotch.
Yeah.
And he's like,
"Oh, you don't have to.
You don't have to. It's fine. I just really saved your life, but you don't have to." Right. Well, that's a bit out of weird. They have landed in sick bay because he patches up her leg. Then remember, she's still got a gunshot wound in her leg.
Yeah, and she's like, "Right, well, okay, you're here to rescue me, but we're not going on our own.
Yeah, there's no way.
I am not going unless we're taking or saving other hostages.
We have to save all the other hostages, even though there's absolutely no way of them leaving this ship with all of the hostages.
No.
As far as they know, the escape pod's only got 2 seats.
Yeah.
He's been sent up to save her. There's no possible way he can save all the hostages.
Correct.
But she's not having it. He even says that to her. He's like, "There's no room on this escape pod for everyone. I don't know what we're going to do."
Alex, and if this is a bit of a strange bit as well, Alex goes and gets, because they have visitor badges.
Yeah.
So, which they took off all the hostages. So he gets Emily's visitor badge.
Yeah.
He does some dramatic photocopying.
Yeah.
So they still have photocopiers.
Yeah.
In 2079. We don't use photocopiers much now,
No,
do we?
not really.
But he's making copies of her picture to put up everywhere.
He puts it up everywhere. He also managed...
But it's really dramatic music as he puts this photocopier.
It really is.
But really odd.
He also hijacks the video screens from all around the... You putting your sock back on?
Yes.
He hijacks all the video screens all around the ship, so he manages to show her face on the screen as well. And
that's right, yeah.
Basically, all the prisoners now know what she looks like, and it's basically everybody.
He says,
it's all on one now.
Yeah, we're hunting this girl.
Yeah, we're hunting this girl. Let's go and get her. So Snow's like, "Okay, we need to disguise you now because everybody knows what you look like. Come in here, put this prison jumpsuit on so you look like a prisoner, and also I'm going to dye your hair."
Mm-hmm.
He dyes her hair. He makes up some sort of hair dye with coffee and engine oil.
Yeah.
And then cuts all her hair off.
Now look, I understand this is a sort of, quick off the cuff attempt at a disguise.
Yeah.
But my God, what did they do to Maggie Grace here?
I know. It's awful.
It's terrible.
It's awful.
It's barely a better disguise than Joanna from the Sweeney Todd a couple of weeks ago. It is. But my God, he looks like he's got fucking Wurzel Gummidge hair.
Yeah, basically just hacks all her hair off and dyes it black. Puts her in a prison jumpsuit and she has to pretend she's just a pretty boy. Basically is what happened. Because they need to walk through.
They've got to walk through a
crowd of people now.
Yeah, to get to the next
So she needs to pretend to just be a pretty prisoner. Yeah, and so he punches her in the face.
Oh, yeah.
To split her lip open so she looks a bit more rough. And And he's like, you look tough now. And I'm like, you don't. You look like Maggie Gross just been punched in the face. The president then arrives at LOPD, not LAPD. He's now on the spaceship in low orbit as well.
Yes.
Don't really know why, but he's there. Alex decides, I'm going to go hunting myself. He grabs a shotgun and he leaves Heidel in charge of the control room.
Yeah,
Right.
he'd look after the hostages.
You look after the hostages, look after the control room, and I'm going to go and try and find out. I feel like this was his big mistake of the movie.
It was an error.
It was an error. And then Snow and Emily try and walk through this crowd of prisoners.
They're looking for Mace still as well.
yeah, he's
Remember
looking
him?
yeah, so Alex has also got, Snow's also got this like secondary mission.
Yeah.
Or it's his
B plot.
main mission for him. Is to find Mace so he can track down where this briefcase is. Because he never found it. Nobody knows where this briefcase is. Since he got thrown on the train, nobody knows where it was. And they managed to get through, but only just because they do come up against this big dude who's got a tattooed face. He's got like a mouth
His
tattooed over
teeth
his
are
mouth.
tattooed on his lips.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
And he's also terribly dubbed.
Yes, he was. I feel like that was not his voice.
No, not at all.
It was.
They're giving him a big tough voice.
Yeah, he's not
But
he's a big guy, but he doesn't look like a big growly.
Yeah,
tough
it's
guy.
not it's not synced up well.
No, it's not.
anytime this guy speaks.
No, you're
I
right.
thought it really stuck out.
Basically, he just is like, "Who's your pretty friend?"
Yeah.
Because he looks like a pretty boy. I want a piece of that. And he's like, "You can't come past unless you know the password."
So Snow just nuts him.
Snow just knocks him out, and they run, lock themselves in a room at the end of the crowd, and we're done. And then, luckily, in this room where they lock themselves in, Mace is just standing.
Yeah, of course.
there. Helpful how people are just exactly where you need them to be in this movie
At
all
exactly
times.
the right time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, from being in stasis for so long, apparently gives you dementia.
Well, it was said at the start of the film.
Yeah, it did. They did
some
set
people
it
don't
up.
cope with
Some
it.
people don't cope with stasis. He's got dementia. He's only late 30s, but he's got dementia.
Yeah, he's got Tourette's.
Guy Pearce just
dementia.
says, shit. And then the scene kind of cuts away. It's really funny. But he still needs to know where this briefcase is. So he's trying to convince Mace to tell him where the briefcase is. Mace doesn't understand what he's saying. He's just babbling garbage.
No, exactly. And then their pursuers sort of break through the door, don't they?
Yeah, so they're like, right, we need to come. He's coming with us now. This is a free.
And then there's
free
a sight gag, isn't there? Because
Yeah.
Snow's like, "Don't worry, stick with me. I'll look after
I'll
us,
keep you
and
safe."
we're going to be completely safe."
Yeah.
Shuts the
They go through
door
a
of the
door,
next
yeah.
room they're going to, and on the outside of the door, which they won't have seen, it says, "Absolutely no entry, radioactive
No entry
area."
without a suit, highly radioactive. Which, as soon as they get in there, Emily's necklace thing starts going off. But
Yeah.
there's another guy in there. There's a prisoner in there.
Yeah.
Trying to hunt them down.
Yeah.
Like,
Everyone's just wandering around. There's no ill effects that we ever see.
everybody's fine. So they're trying to be quiet to avoid this guy, and then this alarm starts going off around her neck. She takes this necklace off, drops it on the floor. They clear off, and we never hear about radiation again.
No.
They manage to get away, but they do get cut off from Mace. I didn't quite understand what happened in this.
I think
next
it was
scene.
some sort of radioactive release, and he gets trapped the other side of the blast door.
Yeah, so he's trapped on one side of the blast door. Emily and Snow are on the other side, and they can't get him back. They can't reopen the door. And Mace is trying to communicate with him.
There's like a breach somewhere because he starts to get cold.
Yeah, he gets cold. Snow's gone off to try and find a tool to open the door.
Yeah.
And Mace is talking to Emily, and all he says over and over again is, "I foresee you, I see you, and lullaby."
Yeah.
It just keeps saying that over and over and over and over again. Lullaby, I see you, I foresee you. Mace then gets frozen to death. Because I wasn't sure if like one of the portal doors had opened and the space had got in.
Yeah, I think Space had got in.
Space had got in and he froze to
Oh,
death.
there was a hole. Yeah, there was a
Because
hole.
he instantly just freezes up.
from all the bullets and stuff.
Yeah. Emily heard all that. Snow didn't. So now Emily's got a bit of a one-up on Snow.
And then the International Space Station crashes into the prison.
Yeah, it does. But causes not really much destruction.
Not really.
No. Nobody really gets...
There's a bit
Nobody
of
even
it.
falls over, I don't think.
Yeah. And back down on the low
This
orbit
is my
police
favourite
department.
scene, I think. This is my favourite scene.
Doesn't crash into anything.
No, but that's lower orbit.
Yeah.
So-
Go on.
Scott just goes, "What was that?" And this technician guy goes, "Oh, the space station's just crashed into MS-1. By the way, MS-1's falling out of space."
Yeah, he goes, "Oh no, actually, the prison's crashed into the space station."
Yeah, because nobody's piloting it.
Yeah, he was like, "No
anymore.
one's driving it; it's falling back to Earth."
I estimate it will crash into Earth in 8 hours.
Yeah.
So we've now got this random, out of nowhere time limit on this film. It really made me laugh because it just came out of nowhere. The fact that the space station's just... I presume because it had fallen a little bit, it had fallen in line with the orbit of the space station.
So.
And the space station crashed into it. It was so stupid. So now we've got a time limit issue as well. Oh, also, by the way, that never gets mentioned again.
No, it doesn't.
That's the only time you hear about the MS-1 falling through space.
Because they don't do, spoiler it, they don't do anything to stop it. So presumably, at some point off screen in this film, this huge outer space prison does fall to Earth
after the film
and
finished,
kill loads of people.
Yeah, presumably after the. Yeah. It was going to fall onto the eastern seaboard, so it wasn't going to land in the sea.
They did say that, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't going to land in the sea. It was going to land on New York, basically. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Snow and Emily get to the escape pod.
They do. That was
helpful. It's just there again. It just happens to be in the right place. Unfortunately, there's only one seat on this thing.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody should have known that.
Yeah, but he's been stitched up.
Yeah, he has been stitched up.
Obviously.
Yeah, at this point, though, I thought, somebody should have known that.
And he kind of lies to him and says, "Well, yeah, look, I knew there's only one seat. You get in this one. There'll be another one next door. Yeah. I'll come straight after.
I'll get that, and we'll follow you down there. We're going to have some ice cream." So he locks the door. He leaves the room, and it blasts off.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a bit distraught because he knows now he's not getting off this thing.
Has a cigarette
because he smokes. Nobody smokes anymore. It's 2079. Somebody says that at some point in the film. And then she just turns up again and pats him on the shoulder. And she hasn't gone anywhere.
I don't know how she snuck out.
What she's basically done is got rid of the only way they can get off the ship.
Yeah.
Because that ship did leave with nobody in it.
Exactly.
She's like, I'm not going anywhere. We've got all these hostages to rescue. Yeah. Even though there's no possible way to rescue these hostages.
For fuck's sake, I told you, we can't do it. And then Emily says, I know where your briefcase is.
Yeah. And then Snow's like, okay, well, you can hang around for a bit then. And basically, she blackmails him into helping all the hostages.
Yeah, so you help me,
and
I'll tell you where it is.
And then Heidel comes on the screen. And Heidel's had enough of this shit now.
He just starts killing him.
He's like, I'm going to kill a man. He kills a guy on the screen.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says directly to Emily, he's calling to Emily directly. He's like, if you're not here, I'm going to kill a man every 3 seconds. You've basically got 3 seconds to get here.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep killing
Or tell me where you are.
Or tell me where you are so we can come and get you. So she gets on a microphone that's just, again, happens to be in there. And she tells him where she is. She says, we're on floor 3 or whatever we're on. And so then now he knows where there is. He doesn't need to mess around with his 3 second rule anymore.
Yeah.
He just kills all of them.
He does, yeah.
Just out of nowhere, just boom, 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 they're all dead. So then she says to Snow, they kind of run and hide somewhere. She's like, well, I don't really know where your case is. I was just lying to you to help save the hostages.
Yeah, exactly.
But now there's no hostages left to save. So if we'd have just got on that fucking thing, people might have survived, but they didn't. Then they find some evidence that they've been using prisoners as guinea pigs, which is what she'd suggested all along.
Yeah, but again, it's just completely glossed over, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what they were guinea pigs for. It doesn't say. She's just
they just walk through a room where there's some
bits of body on the floor. And then Alex shows up in this same room, and he throws Snow down a hole, basically.
Yeah.
And takes Emily with him. And basically, they go back to the control room. Alex and Emily find all the dead hostages, and Alex is like, what the fuck? Why have you killed all the hostages? We've got no negotiation
no leeway now.
So he punches Heidel in the face. And for some reason, the comms get turned back on at this point. Basically because the film needed them to be back on at this point. And Harry's like shouting into Snow's ear, trying to wake him up because he's lying at the bottom of this hole he's been thrown into. And he's like, there is another way off this ship. You need to get into a spacesuit and go outside.
Basically jump.
And we'll come and pick you up.
Yeah.
I don't think space works like how this film thinks space works. Basically, just float around outside for a bit, and we'll come and pick you up. Alex then makes Emily call her dad, who's remembered down on the low orbit police department, and tell him to call off the assault because there's an assault coming. There's another assault coming. So Scott says to the president at this point, "We have no choice now. We have to blow up this thing."
Yeah,
with your daughter on it.
She says, if we don't, that's going to... hundreds and thousands of people are going to die.
Yeah, because it's going to crash into the earth.
And at the same time, Emily comes on the comms and she doesn't say what Alex wants her to say. She says, everyone here is dead.
blow the fucker
blow
up.
this dump out of the sky.
Yeah. President's a bit reluctant to do
But
that.
he still won't do it.
No, because his
That's
daughter's
my
on
daughter.
there.
Yeah.
So Scott, who remember is the head of the SAS,
Yeah.
removes the president from duty.
Yeah, and the president's like, "Oh, you need that. You need a warrant signed by the,
Congress and the vice president.
And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I've already got
here
it.
it is. It's in my hand."
Yeah.
So
You're
the
done,
president
mate.
gets relieved of his job. Okay. And then for some reason, that gives Scott the authority, the head of the SAS, remember, to give the president order.
Yeah,
He was
ordered the
So
destruction.
he's suddenly the president. I don't know. But he orders the destruction of this massive spaceship. Heidel, in the meantime, murders his brother.
Yeah, he's just
Stabs
he's
Alex
just
in the chest.
killing everyone.
Kills him. He just died. His last words are, "Who's going to look after you now?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then he just dies. Then the
Attack gets launched.
attack gets launched. The defense system, remember, is quite good on this ship.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I
And
forgot
it's-
about
Starts, so did every fucker else. We've already lost one defense team. And it does. It starts firing at the assault squad again. Although these pilots are a little bit better because they
Yeah,
can
they are a
avoid the
bit,
bullets
yeah.
a bit better. Heidel then tries to stab Emily as well. He's like on a
that. Yeah,
stabbing
he's
spree.
just absolutely trying to kill everyone.
But Snow grabs the blade of his knife with his fist
He does.
and stops him and then knocks out Heidel. And I'm not sure we ever see him again.
We don't.
No, I don't think we did.
I don't think we do.
Yeah, that's the end of him. He just gets punched and he's done. So then Snow and Emily run away
Yeah.
from the crowd.
There's still lots of inmates
There's
sort
hundreds of prisoners
chasing them.
chasing them. They run away. The assault crew have managed to fly into the belly of the ship.
Yeah.
And
It's like Death Star trenches sort
Yeah.
of stuff, isn't it?
so they drop a bomb, which doesn't explode straight away. It has a 30-second timer on
Yeah.
it for tension. And
Plus, we've still got our 8-hour timer.
yeah, that's also timing. There's a lot of timing going on. So Emily and Snow then go and find these spacesuits that Harry mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
both-
they've managed to outrun all these hundreds of prisoners.
Yeah.
That's not been a problem.
and get changed.
Yeah.
They manage to put these suits on, hold hands, and then they jump off this spaceship
Yeah.
into space. Literally.
They're like what's the guy? Felix Baumgartner or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't go into orbit. They don't just float there. They fucking fall.
Oh, yeah. So they go through the atmosphere. There's burnage.
Yeah.
She passes out.
Yeah.
Snow stays awake.
Luckily, because he manages to deploy his parachute.
Well, they get through the atmosphere, and once they're in sort of, normal sky,
Yeah.
they press some sort of button which makes the spacesuits explode off them.
Yeah.
And then he catches up with her, does that to her,
Yeah.
and then somehow there's a parachute.
Yeah, he's wearing a parachute under his spacesuit, I
Yeah.
think. And he parachutes and they just land in the middle of a freeway.
But you never see them floating down.
No.
You see a parachute launch and then they're on the freeway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, that was just a bit too much for the budget.
I feel like this would have taken a long time to fall from space.
Well, how long did it take the Red Bull guy?
Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, something like
Fucking stupid. And then as soon as they land on this freeway, they get arrested
yes, they do.
straight away. Even though nobody even knew they were falling out of space. And I liked how Harry was like, yeah, if you jump out, you'll just float around and we'll come and pick you up. What he didn't mention is you'll fucking fall
Yeah.
all the way to Earth. And just happen to land right where you need to be on Earth. You could have landed anywhere on Earth,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they landed exactly where they needed to be. But this is an action movie. They get arrested. They get taken to hospital/prison. Emily is in hospital. Her hair's suddenly been dyed back to the right colour.
It has, yeah.
So I don't know what's happened there.
She's been Googling Mace's words.
Yes, she has. And she figures it out. She's basically deciphered his mad rumblings.
Yes, she has.
And she basically, the word lullaby is...
Well, she goes to Union Station.
Yeah, because he mentioned Union a couple
Yeah.
of times. So she's like, okay, Union, that must be Union Station. Because Snow had mentioned the subway, so
Yeah.
that's fair. That's a good one. She finds the word lullaby graffitied on the front door of some lockers.
She does.
So she gets the number of the locker. She goes to the computer screen that unlocks the lockers. And what was it? I foresee you, I see you.
I see you, I foresee you.
So I foresee you, I see you was the code to get into the locker. The locker opens and she gets the case.
Yeah, the briefcase is there.
Yeah. We then cut back to Scott is talking to Snow, and it's basically revealed why Scott thinks that Snow killed Frank at this point.
Because someone had left a mirrored
Somebody
door
left
open.
the mirrored door open, and Scott was looking at Snow's reflection in the mirror.
Snow was actually shooting someone else.
At the exact same time, Frank got shot in the head.
Yeah.
So the mirrored reflection looked like
He was shooting Frank.
yeah.
Or he was shooting someone else.
Yep. Emily then takes the case to her dad, who is now the president again.
Yeah, he's been
Been reinstated
back into
somehow.
role.
And she's like, we need to help somebody out.
Yeah.
And then we never see either of those. Well, we never see his dad again anyway.
And here's Snow.
Here's Snow.
Back
He's
in the interrogation room.
back in the interrogation room. This time he's talking to Harry.
Yeah.
Him and Harry are chatting. And Harry's like, oh, it's a real shame we didn't get the case. And Snow's like, oh, he's all right. I've got the case. Case is just here.
Yeah.
Cop, give me the case. Case gets put on the table. Harry types in the combination, opens it up, there's nothing in it. It's empty. Completely empty. And Harry's like, what's going on here? And Snow's like, I want to know how you knew the combination to that case. Twist. Here's your twist. Here's your twist. Harry's the bad guy.
Yeah.
The guy who's been the good guy all the way through.
Harry was the one selling secrets.
He calls Snow cannon fodder. He's like, you were just cannon fodder in all of this. I was trying to get these secrets. So what?
And Frank was returning them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he was shot.
That's why he was shot. So then what Snow decides to do to get his own back at Harry for murdering his friend is burn his eye out.
Yeah. Because he sat there with Frank's lighter
He's got Frank's lighter on and he pushes it into... And what's with the eye thing in this film? He burns his eye out, basically, and Scott comes in and arrests him. So we've got a switch of good cop, bad cop switched over at this point.
Yeah, Scott thanks Snow for all his
he
work.
says, good work. You can go now if you want.
And Snow looks down, he flips Frank's lighter open again.
Yep.
And there's like a SIM
This
card
is
in
he's
there.
walking out of the... Yeah, it's like a memory card, SIM card type thing in the bottom of the lighter.
Yeah.
So it was the lighter that he was supposed to be looking after all along, not the briefcase.
And Snow had the lighter all the way through the film.
He did, all the way. He was smoking all the way through the film. Even Harry said, who even smokes these days?
Yeah.
So none of this would have happened if he'd have just looked inside that briefcase. Emily's there. She's waiting for him to be released because she knew that was going to happen.
Sure.
She says, I know your name. Because there was a whole thing earlier in the film about him not having revealing his first name. His first name's Marion.
Yeah.
Because his dad was a John Wayne fan. Apparently that's quite funny that he's got a girl's name.
There's loads of banter and she's like, I'm like Robin Hood and I've rescued you. You're Maid Marian.
Wow. And then she punches him in the face because she's like, I owed you that. You punched me in the face earlier. And he's like, I thought you were going to kiss me then. That was weird.
Yeah.
And then she's
like, well, not yet.
Not yet.
And then she just says, like, how good are you in bed?
How good are you in bed is the last line of this film. As they walk off into the sunset. She's like, how good are you in bed, by the way? And then the film ends. What? It was so weird.
It was really weird.
It was really weird. What did you think of it?
Look, I enjoyed this. I had a fun time.
I agree. I did as well.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
It's a proper stupid action film.
It's stupid as balls.
It really is. It's high energy. It literally never stops. I text you about halfway through. I was like, I'm pretty sure this film's got...
My hand's going to fall off.
Pretty sure this film's got to come up with for air at some point.
Yeah.
I've not stopped writing. But it never does. It never comes up for air. It's action from start to finish.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. It's just fun. It's just...
It's an absolute mess, though.
It's a cheeseball action movie.
Yeah.
It's a complete mess. Yeah. It's an absolute mess.
The characters wander in, then you forget about them for 20 minutes, and then they're back. And
everybody's always exactly where they need to be.
Yeah,
every
at all
prop's
times.
always exactly where it needs to be. Every door, everything's always...
Everyone's just around the corner.
Yeah. From the very first minute where he opens that lift and she's just in there.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's just stupid.
It's absolute bubblegum, but I really enjoyed it.
I did as well.
I was just like, right, brain at the door.
Yeah.
Come at me.
It's the personification of a Saturday night pizza and a Magnum movie. It's leave your brain out there. Just sit.
Some people will watch this and they'll be really annoyed.
Yeah.
And I know we have picked it apart, but that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
But look, I was going to say don't take it as criticism. Yeah, there are loads of things wrong with this movie, but it did not stand in the way of me enjoying it.
No, absolutely not.
I really enjoyed it.
It's the second space.
I think Guy Pearce was great.
Guy Pearce is always great. Guy Pearce is great. It's the second space movie we've seen this season. But after Setup.
Yeah.
And Setup
wasn't space.
Wasn't it?
No.
Well, they're not in space. I thought they were in space.
In the Setup?
Yeah. Oh, no, not... What am I... No, I'm not thinking... What was the other George Clooney? Who's he? What was the other Bruce Willis film we watched? That was in space.
It's from last season.
Oh, okay. I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was called.
Bleach.
Yeah.
Breach. Not Bleach.
Breach.
Afterlife.
Yeah.
I was thinking Bruce Willis films. That's why I said setup. Sorry, yeah. That's the film that you can compare it to.
Yeah.
And it's 100 times better than that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
So
fun.
this is the film that wants to be.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely is.
I genuinely thought you were losing your mind there.
I've got I knew Bruce Willis. I could see that film. I just saw.
Look, this is Taken in Space. It is.
It's Escape from New York.
It is Escape from New York. You know, they wanted to. Carpenter always said if he was going to do another Escape from New York, Escape from LA, he'd do it in space. So you know, I wonder if it's that.
Somebody's gone.
Thinking about it.
Somebody's gone. I could do that.
Yeah, if you're not going to do it, mate, I'm going to do it. But
they should be called Escape from Allo. Not Escape from LA. Escape from Low Orbit PD.
I had a fun time.
I had a fun time. I thought it was great. It's stupid.
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense. It's a cheese fest. Some of the action's great, but it is.
Yeah, special effects dodgy.
Too much eye shit.
The scraps are good.
Yeah, they are. There's too much eye shit going on. I didn't need 2 eye scenes. What's the best thing about it?
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just a great lead in it.
Yes, yeah,
he's smarmy. He's quippy. He's a good action hero in this.
He's not the first person you think of when you cast in an action film, but he should be.
Yeah,
I think that's the way to put that. What would you change about it?
I want to see John Carpenter's version.
Same.
Look, that bit on the bike scene, that's really weird.
Yeah.
I think they could have. I'd rather have seen some of that money spent on some of the more practical fights, maybe. And I'm getting rid of Alex, actually, as well.
Yeah, let's get rid of him. And if you're setting it in 2079, let's not have a photocopier in it.
No. No.
There was lots of weird technology that was still being used that wouldn't be still being used.
Exactly.
But yeah, get rid of Alex. More Guy Pearce, less Alex.
No
more Joe Gilligan. Should we talk Stream Table?
Yeah, I think this is tough.
We're going really long on this episode. I think it's tough as well. I've literally got no idea.
Because I think, depending on what mood I'm in, this could go really high.
Yeah.
On a sheer, how much did I enjoy this movie? One of the most enjoyable movies I've seen this season.
Shall I read the top 10?
Yes.
It's definitely top 10, isn't it?
Yes.
So 10 currently is The Parts You Lose. 9 is All at Sea. 8 is Sweeney Todd. 7 is Robot Overlords. 6 is XOXO. 5 is Bodycam. 4 is Pentagram. 3 is The Trip. 2 is Ghosts of War. 1 is Summit of the Gods. That literally, it could go anywhere.
I mean, depending on the mood that I'm in and how we're ranking this table, I could put it anywhere from 2nd to 6th.
You don't think it's the best?
I think it's the most I've enjoyed a movie this season. Just in complete
100%,
isolation of what's the funnest 90 minutes I've had. I think it's this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is. I personally think it's better than Ghosts of War.
I had more fun than with Ghosts of War.
For me, this is 1 or 2.
I didn't think you'd go that high. I think
it's better than The Trip. I like Pentagram and Bodycam being together because it rhymes, but it is better than Ghosts of War. And the argument is it better than Summit of the Gods?
I would have it above Ghosts of War, I think, because it doesn't change tack for no reason partway through.
Ghosts of War. This film's a mess. Ghosts of War is an absolute mess.
I think if we put this first, I don't know, with hand on heart, even though part of me really wants to.
Which part of you really wants to?
I'm not sure I can say hand on heart with full integrity that this goes first. Even though it is the most fun I've had, I think, this season.
And I'm not being flippant, and I'm not doing it on purpose. I think this is the best film we've seen this season. Personally. I thought Summit of the Gods was great. I definitely enjoyed this more.
I enjoyed this more.
It has a better star. It has a good story. And it's fun. It's really good fun.
It's really good fun.
I think this is the best film we've seen this season.
And
I'm not doing it just to piss off Rob. Because I know what you're thinking.
It's not the best film we've seen, is it?
This season.
How are you judging it? It's not technically. It's not. It's the most fun film we've seen this season. Yes. I agree.
It's a good film.
It's a good film.
Let me put it to you like this. If you had to watch this or Summit of the Gods again, which one are you watching? Absolutely.
Easily. It's not close.
This film deserves to be number 1 in the stream table. And I'm not doing it just to piss off. Because I know what you're thinking. This is going to
Thinking
really piss
you're
off
an
Ross
absolute
Cook.
wind up.
I'm not. And I'm not on a wind up. Because Ross is currently, for those of you who don't know, this is a wildcard film from one of our Patreons. Summit the Gods is also a wildcard film from one of our Patreons.
Yeah.
So whoever wins this battle now is going to win the wildcard race for this season.
Sure.
There's a lot of pressure on us right now. We can't flip a coin to decide who wins the wildcard race.
I'll give it a caveat as well.
Okay.
We've still got like 8 weeks left.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't win the season.
This is beatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, if we want to just go on, what's the most fun I've had this season?
Yeah.
Is this.
Yeah.
Let's put it at the top then.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
I did as well. I genuinely do think it's a better film. Genuinely.
This film is the sort of thing. It's why this show started.
Yeah,
it's from watching this sort of film.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
we're looking for hidden gems on Netflix, and I think there's a little bit of a hidden gem. I think if you're looking for a good Taken style action movie, you can't really look past it. It's a little hidden gem.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Ghost of War.
Yeah, it is 100%.
Let's shake it up. Put it top
of the stream, which means Jordan Shenton has won this year's. He's came in at the last second, swooped above the radar, and won this year's wildcard race. Ross is going to be fucking fuming. But that is not why I've done it, and I'm not going to apologise for it. But it isn't why I've done it. I do genuinely think it's a better film.
It's a new marker.
It is. It's beatable. It can be beaten. Something will be as good this season. We'll be having this argument again about it. I'm sure of it.
Lockout. Tops the table.
Tops the table. Shall we pick next week's film? Or next time we do an episode film? Yeah, because for those of you who didn't hear The Wave this week, there's not going to be an episode next week of either The Wave or The Movie Show.
We're on holiday.
We're having a week off. I'm going away and I do the editing, so it's not happening. So, shall we get Robin out?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you want from Robin for next week?
Welcome, Robin. Please give us... I want something that's going to give me a couple of really good acting performances.
Okay.
I want to be...
So you're not cared about the genre? You don't care about the genre?
No, I'm not. I'm open to genre. I want to see a couple of good performances, please.
You ready?
Yes.
Robin has picked a movie called Apocalypse Please.
Okay.
Any ideas?
None whatsoever.
Okay. Let me just find it on IMDb. Oh wow, it's brand new. It's only just come out in 2022. It's described as a TV movie.
Okay.
It's German. It's a German action comedy.
Oh, okay. My interest is piqued.
Apocalypse Now is like demanding, whereas Apocalypse Please is like not demanding.
Please, may I have an apocalypse?
Do you want the synopsis?
Yes.
A dysfunctional group of wannabe survivalists hunker in a bunker to prepare for doomsday. But will their narcissism, delusions, and jealousies end up killing them off before their long-awaited dream of a global cataclysm?
Okay.
Cataclysm's a nice word.
Yeah, it is.
It's only got 21 reviews.
So is the phrase hunker in a bunker.
Hunker in a bunker. It's only got 21 reviews on IMDb.
Wow.
With an average of 3.3 out of 10.
This is bottom of the stream.
This is as bottom of the stream as it gets. It's brand new. There's only 5 people on the credits list.
Lovely.
And it's written and directed by the same person as well.
I'm in.
Me too. So yeah, go out and watch Apocalypse, please. Please watch Apocalypse, please. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you'll find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, and you can even buy some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
pencil.
I think you probably can get a pencil.
Cool.
Excellent. After you've done all that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You'll get bonus episodes. You will get a wild card that Nick writes every month.
Newsletter.
Oh, I do that every week, don't I? A newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you'll get a wild card, which means you can do what Jordan's just done and pick the film that we watch and maybe even win the wild card race. And then when you've done all that, head over to Discord. Discord is where we chat with our friends, listeners, fans. We just have basically great chats in there. There's always somebody in there to talk to. We do live watch-alongs. We just have chats. We play games. There's all sorts of cool stuff going on in the Discord. The Discord link will be at the bottom of the show notes.
If you can spare a few minutes to leave us a rating or review, please do so. Anywhere you can review or rate podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora. We are on all the podcast places.
We are.
Really helps us out.
It really does. It really, really does as well. So yeah, congratulations once more to Jordan Shanton for winning the season 7 wildcard race. Your prize will be winging its way to you in the post, whatever the prize is these days. And we'll be back. We won't be back on Monday. We will be back the following Monday for the wave.
Yes.
And then the following Thursday for the movie show.
We will.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.